Let's break the silence. This is All Things Greggy. Come take a ride. Living our truth with nothing to hide.
Hey family, welcome back to the channel. I am not my chipper self today because your girl has been dealing with a lot over this last month, and I have been debating whether I want to share this with you guys or not. And as much as I talk, it's gonna come out eventually. So I was like, I'm just gonna go ahead and tell the family, talk to the family, because I want to talk about it, but I don't want to talk about it, if that makes sense. Like, I want to tell you what I'm going through, but I don't want you to talk about it, right? So we're going to be girlfriends right now, and I'm not looking for any suggestions or anything because I feel like everything is under control at this point. But I just need to vent, if you will. So, you know, I've been going to this doctor. I want to say my first time meeting her was March 5th. And she got the ball rolling because when I went in there talking to her, I explained to her that as I am aging, I don't want to be sickly. I don't want to be sickly. I want to get my health in order. So whatever that looks like to you medically, can you make that happen? And she basically was like, say less. So she go in and she order everything that I'm missing. Everything that I'm missing. She does my well woman, my mammogram. She does my blood work, even my bone density, all of these things. She's checking all these things out there, asking, how many surgeries have you had? And this, that, and that. I mean, like, she's doing a complete workup on me. And I was like, wow, I was saying to myself, oh, she's gonna really get the job done. So as my blood work come back, I had been telling people forever that I'm anemic, but she was like, once you went through the change, you were no longer anemic. But my doctor in St. Louis agreed with me that I was anemic even after my blood work came back. And she was just like, yeah, so you need to see a hematologist and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. So I told my new doctor, I'm like, I was supposed to see a hematologist, but we moved. And they're trying to figure out why I am still anemic. And so she orders the blood work and everything. And so we set up an appointment for mammograms and all this other stuff. So when she gets my blood work back, which was like after about 3 days, I went to see her Monday, and I think she wrote me on a Thursday. And she was like, I don't know who told you you were anemic, but you're not anemic. And she said, I ordered hematology because you said that you were anemic. And I was like, well, that's what I've been told all my life. And she was like, yeah, you were, but when you go through menopause, you should not be anemic anymore. And that's why people are concerned. And she said, that's why they want you to go see the hematology and stuff like that. And so she was like, you're not anemic. And I was like, oh, okay. I say, well, thank you for that, because I was concerned about, because I told Donna, I was like, well, I need to go see a hematologist for it. I don't get it. Like, nobody was really explaining to me. They were just like, you need to do this. But there was no explanation. That's why I like this doctor, because she tells you everything. She's very upfront and brutal, but you need it. You know, like, she doesn't sugarcoat, and I like it, but she explains what she's doing. So anyway, she's doing everything to get me back on track, all this stuff. So now it comes time for my mammogram. My mammogram come back, and it is very concerning. And she was like, at this point, she said, can you call your St. Louis place, the last place I had my mammogram? She said, you need to get in touch with them, because she said, we've written them, but they have not written us back. And we don't like what we're seeing. It doesn't look good. Like, it's just a little, there's some things going on in there that we don't like the way they look. But if we don't have anything to compare it to, we have to draw our own conclusion. And she said, then we'll have to go in and do the work. And I was like, okay. So I pull up, all these hospitals have all these little charts and stuff. And when I go in, I look at my mammogram from the last time I had it. They didn't give me any images or anything. And what they wrote was just like it wasn't detailed. But I can tell you that when I was in St. Louis, I did get a call back for them to look at me again. And I met with, I don't know what type of doctor she was, but she did the scan on me. And she was like, oh, she say, yeah, you're okay. She say, I wouldn't worry about it. You got calcifications. I think that's what they were calling it. That's what she told me last time. She said, you have a little calcification here and there. No worries. You'll be fine. And she was like, but just make sure you keep a checkup on it. Now, as I was living in the RV, I would go, but not all the time. So I would skip a year, go a year, skip a year, go a year. That's what I was doing. But as I was doing that, nobody was really saying anything to me. So now as we come here now, I get my mammogram. They don't like what they see. So St. Louis, now it's been, like I say, March 5th. So I had my mammogram on like a few days later. And so she had me write down my information for them to get in touch with the St. Louis doctors. And so I gave her all the information, the doctor name, the number, the fax number, because I looked it up. And I gave her all that information. And she said, now we're closer to the end of the month. And I'm growing more concerned because I'm like, I haven't heard anything. What's going on? And she was like, well, we wrote them and they have not written us back. And I say, well, at this point, I don't want to just sit here because you don't like what you see. Can we do something different? And so my main doctor was like, okay, what we'll do is, normally if I send a referral for further investigation, it'll really make them kick things into gear. And if they don't have your information, it'll force them to do the work to get it done before your appointment time comes up, right? And so I'm still not hearing anything. I'm not hearing anything back. And I'm like, you can't tell people that there is something possibly going on in your body, but you can't tell me what it is. And so after about a month, which was, because I went to the doctor yesterday when I tried to record this, but your girl was not in a good way. I cried all through the video and everything else. So I had to get my thoughts together. So that's why I'm shooting this video today, because I wanted to be as raw and authentic as I could be. But I'm like, I don't want y'all on here seeing me that way. So I was like, I'm just going to re-record it and talk to the family. So anyway, I'm here talking to you about it. So, and I know I'm all over the place because there's so much I want to share. So just bear with me and we'll get there. So anyway, they wrote me last week and they were like, we haven't heard from your doctor. So anyway, we want to get you in and we need to get you in as soon as possible. So, well, she didn't say as soon as possible. She was like, we're just going to get you in with our next appointment. So the next appointment was a few days later. And she was like, we won't be able to do the appointment that you need here in the office, because that's why I had my mammogram done in the regular office. Now, what I heard her say was, we want you to go over to the breast cancer center. And I'm like, do I have it? And she was like, well, we can't really tell you that, but when we do our findings, you'll know that day what we find. And so I get off the phone and I'm just in here bawling my eyes out, because I'm thinking, why would they want you to go to a breast cancer center if you don't have breast cancer? You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, they know it, they just don't want to tell me over the phone. So I'm trying to be good, because we got Donald's birthday and I'm trying to be good, and I'm trying to be happy, and I'm trying to help him celebrate, right? But in the back of my mind, this is all I could think about because I talked to them on Thursday and I have to go see them on Tuesday. And so I told Donald, I was like, she told me to meet her up at the breast cancer center, and I have to be there at 7:50, and they're gonna do ultrasound, and they're gonna do imaging again. And he was like, calm down, Peggy. He said, if you have it, don't you want to know if you have it? And it sounds like you caught it early enough, so this is a good thing. He was like, look at it like it's a good thing. Donald is always a cup half full type of guy. I needed that. So he let me cry and carry on for a couple days. And then when it got closer to his birthday, I'm like, okay, get it together, Piggy. It is what it is. We'll just deal with it. So in the car, on the way to the doctor, I'm trying to talk to y'all, but I'm crying. You can't hardly hear me. So we get to the breast care center, not the breast cancer center, but the breast care center. And so I go in there, and I'm sitting there, and I know every lady in there has hit a call back, and all of us were with our husbands, and you could just feel the tense in the air, like it's very worrisome. It's just a place that you don't want to be. But if you're at the breast care center, you've either had it and been treated, or you're trying to find out if you have it. I think that's how that goes. So anyway, I'm sitting there, and I do my paperwork, and then they call my name. And I told Donald, I said, well, according to the paperwork, I'm going to be in here for at least an hour or so. Go ahead and get you some breakfast or whatever you're going to do. And I say, and then I'll write you. Because they weren't going to let Donald come in the back anyway. And I was like, don't just sit here. I said, just go ahead and go out. Because believe it or not, there was a lot of ladies coming in and out. And I was like, I don't want to put you through this too. I said, I promise I'll text you if I find anything. So I go in the back, and she's doing all these images. And as she's doing the images, I can see the pictures. And to somebody that don't know, I was like, what is this? And what is this? And I'm freaking myself out. And she had to come tell me, ma'am, you got to calm down. Like, you got to calm down. She said, we don't know what this is. She said, I don't even know what this is. She said, calm down. So I'm trying to calm myself down. And she was like, now, I don't know if we have to do the ultrasound. She said, I'm going to go ahead and show this to the radiologist. And she said, normally she'll let me just tell you, and then you can go. And I was like, okay. And she was like, okay, grab your things. We're going to go for your ultrasound. And I'm like, but I thought you said. And so now I'm really freaking out, because I'm like, okay, so if I have to go get this ultrasound, they found something and she just don't want to tell me. So I go back to the waiting room, because the radiologist is with somebody else right now. So I'm sitting there, and it is just so quiet. And this little older lady walks in. And she said, how you doing, honey? And I say, I'm fine. And she's like, no, I didn't say I'm fine. I say, I've had way better days. And she said, oh, because you're here? She said, yeah, this was my first time getting what do they call it? Biopsy. She said, this is my first time having a biopsy. She said, how about you? I said, oh, I'm not here for a biopsy. And she's like, well, I had a reverse arm surgery. And they couldn't do the imaging on me because I can't lift my arm, so they had to do a biopsy on me. And I said, oh, okay. And she say, honey, it's gonna be okay. And I'm like, thank you, because I'm ready. I guess you could see it in my face, like I'm about to just scream and cry. And she was talking to me, and then so they come back to get her out of the little waiting room. And she was like, now, why would you come get me? I'm talking to this nice young lady. She needs to talk. And she was like, well, yeah, but we have to go. And she was like, okay, honey, but if you're here when I get back, I'm going to come back. And I was like, okay. And I'm like, I hope this lady, it was sweet that she talked to me, because it took my mind off of what I'm getting ready to do. So then I go in the imaging room. And she is just taking pictures left and right. Click, 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 click. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And she was like, oh, I got to put some kind of pillow up under you, and you got to put your arm over your head. And she was like, she was really nice though. And she was very calming. And she had this like church music kind of playing in the background. I guess it's relaxing. And she was just like trying to keep, make it light. And I'm like, I can't. I say, ma'am, I can't. I say, I'm sorry. I just can't. I need to know. I need to know. I say, I appreciate you. I really do, but I just need to know. And so she was like, well, she said, I've taken all the images that I need to take. And she said, normally she'll just come back and tell me to, let you know good or bad. And she say, so I'm just going to go in and take this to the radiologist, let her look at it. I think that's what she said, radiologist. And I'll let her look at it, and I'll probably just come back and tell you if you're good or if you need further instruction or whatever. She said, but most likely I'll be the one coming back. And she said, but if not, the doctor will come, the radiologist will come in with me and will tell you where to go from here. And I was like, okay. So here comes somebody from behind the curtain, and it wasn't the girl. It's the radiologist. Yeah, I'm saying radiologist. I hope I'm saying that right. But she comes back and she was like, hey, how you doing? And I was like, I don't know, how am I doing? And she was like, you have a lot of calcifications, but you're fine. You're fine. And she starts to tear into me. She's not playing at this point. That's why I like this hospital. I need you to talk to me like this a little bit so I can understand what I'm supposed to do. But I know what I'm supposed to do. I don't need you to talk to me like all crazy. But she was like, you missed a couple mammograms, and with you having calcifications like that, you should never miss anything. She said, especially with you being African American and you're older, you don't need to play around with this. I need you to come every time. This time next year, go get your mammogram. She said, be serious about it. She said, do not play with this. You go here, 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 every year at the same time. Don't play around with it. And I was like, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Anyway, she come in and she was just not playing around. And I was like, I get it. I say, I get it. I say, I won't mess around with it anymore. I say, I say, thank you for being firm and sticking to what you're saying. I say, but I get it. I should know better. I shouldn't have skipped when I did, because what if something had changed in that year that I skipped? So anyway, I'm in the room and tears are just flowing because I'm happy, because I'm praying. I was praying the whole time I was in there while this lady was working on me. I'm praying. And I just didn't feel a way. I felt numb inside. I was preparing myself for the worst, but praying for the best. And she gave me the best news that I could possibly get, which is, you do have some calcifications, and you just need to make sure that you keep checking and you keep getting yourself tested, because they were all up under my arm and, going close to my back and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah. So anyway, I was fine. But I'm telling you guys this because I don't handle bad news well, but I could be there for you well. You know what I'm saying? If you're going through something, if you need something, if you're having a surgery, I'm at your house with soup, salad, and breadsticks. You want to vent? I'm your girl. Like, I'm that person. But for some reason, I can't be that person for myself. And that's one of the flaws in me that I just don't like, because I don't know how to handle it. And I have just been a buzzkill for about a month. And I could not, I've been around here scrubbing the floors. I'm surprised they're still brown, because I have been bleaching and cleaning, and because I can't sleep, because this is taking up all the space in my mind. And I'm like, oh, I won't be able to see my grandbaby graduate. Or I won't be able to see this. I'm going to miss out on this. I'm going to miss out on that. And I'm like, you can't live like that. You cannot live like that. And For a month, I have just been in a bad way. For a whole month, a month and a week actually, I've been in a bad way. And going through that, it did something to me. And I told Donald, I was like, you know what? I'm not living. I'm just right now existing. And so I need to really get out and live my life and do some things. So I told Donald after that scare, I was like, the both of us have to make sure that we are healthy, that we're doing the right things as older people, because you know, when you get older, your body don't recover like it used to. You can't do the things that you used to do when you were younger. Like I say, I'm not asking for suggestions or anything. I just needed to get that off my chest. I feel better talking to you guys about it. I thank God that it was not cancer, because she told me, she said, if you do have it, it's a stage 0. I had never heard of a stage 0 cancer before, but I started doing my research and there is stage 0. And I was like, wow. This hospital was so good because they will share with you images. The doctor is so good because she will turn, all the doctors that I've talked to in this program, they will turn the screen around and talk to you and point to each thing and just point it out. Like, they are really good about showing you what's wrong, how to prevent it, what to do. So needless to say, I have an appointment with a nutritionist. I meet with her, I think it's April 20th or something like that. And Peggy is on the road to recovery. And I don't need y'all, well, let's be kind. I don't want any input as to what I should do, because I feel like I'm doing what I should do. I'm seeking the help that I need. I just needed to talk this through. And believe it or not, I feel better talking to you guys about it, because I want to be honest with you. Like, we're family, so I just needed to get that off my chest, let y'all know what I've been going through. I thank God that I came out on a good side of it, and it just did something to me, and I don't ever want to go through it again. So if any of you are dealing with anything, I pray for you. I hope that you get the help that you need, because mentally I was distraught. And I thank God for Donald all the time, because he is the calm in my life. In the military, he had something called MRT training. I want to say it's called Master Resilient Training. And so he knew what to say to me and how to treat me. And sometimes I was looking at him, I'm like, don't MRT me, because he's good at it though. And I'm just like, I love that for me and him, because he can handle, you know, pretty bad situations. And I'm just like, he was the right person to be with me while I was dealing with that. And I'm gonna tell y'all something else. I'm not into numerology and stuff like that. I just don't believe in stuff like that. I never have. I don't want to even try to understand it. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. I would see the number 444 just all the time. 444, 444, 444. And I was like, what is it like? I would wake up, look at my phone, 444. Waking up at 4:44 in the morning. It just, 444 was everywhere. And my daughter, you know, a lot of these young kids, they're into this stuff. And I was asking her about it, because the other day it was like I kept seeing a bunch of tubes. And I was like, what is going on? And my daughter was like, Ma, those are angel numbers. And I'm like, angel numbers? What's an angel number? And she was like, that's a good sign. That means you're on the right path and you're doing this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay, I say, okay, you told me enough. I say, I really don't want to delve into that. And I say, I hope that you don't. But I mean, she's almost 40, so what can I say? But anyway, I was curious, so I went and looked up angel numbers. I looked up the 444 and the 222, and I was like, oh, okay, angel numbers. I was like, okay, so they fell in line, but I was seeing 444 every day, no matter what it is. I could pick my phone up to see if a message had come through, and it was 444. In the evening and, well, the afternoon, 444, and 444 a.m. I just kept seeing it like all around me. And I'm just like, it's weird. But do you know, after this situation, I haven't seen 444 yet. I haven't seen it again. And I'm like, I don't know if it's coincidental or what, but I just kept seeing it. And I was like, I don't know what this means, but I had to reach out to somebody who I thought knew what it meant. And that was my daughter. And I was like, I never heard of an angel number before, but now I know. But again, I haven't seen those numbers again. Not to say that I won't see them in the future. So I thank God that I don't, because I think I would be an emotional wreck right now. But having to wait that whole month to find out if I had breast cancer or not was really scary for me. And I started really thinking about my life, and I'm just going to make some changes. So if y'all see me make some changes, just go with your girl, because this has been a horrible month. Stress, I've been stressed out for a month. And stress is a silent killer. And sometimes you don't see the result of stress for years to come. So I have to get myself in order. So I'm going to get myself in order. So with all that being said, thank y'all for listening to me talk about that. And now let's get into physical therapy, right? So physical therapy, I've been telling y'all for weeks, oh, I'm going to physical therapy for my plantar fasciitis. And every week it's been canceled. Every week it's been canceled. And I'm trying to figure out why. So I switched locations, because they have like 6 locations you could go to with the insurance I have. And everybody will take the appointment, but then they have to cancel it, because they say, if you come and you haven't been approved, you're going to have to pay for it. Physical therapy is not cheap. So I was like, okay, I get it. So it's been 3 weeks, and I found this new place, and this young lady was like, she called me back and she was like, yeah, we can't take the appointment unless you want to pay for it. And I'm like, well, I don't want to pay for it if I have insurance. And she was like, yeah. She said, I'm going to tell you what the problem is. Nobody else told me this. And I was like, that's so weird to me. So when I went to see the orthopedic doctor, he wrote me a referral to see physical therapy before he gave me the shot. He didn't just want to give me the shot. He wanted me to get the physical therapy first, and maybe they can help. And then he gave me a pamphlet with all these foot exercises I should be doing and stuff like that. She said, your orthopedic doctor does not have permission or authorization to tell you to go to physical therapy. That has to come from your primary care physician. And if she doesn't write it, he could send it through, but we can't accept it. And I was like, thank you very much, because nobody has ever told me. I said, thank you very much. Nobody, I guess, I don't know what they were doing. But anyway, so I write my doctor, and I told her, I was like, look, I am in so much pain. I can't get my life started if I can't walk. And so she was just like, okay, let's get you a referral. So she got that referral. When I tell you this, that's why I love this lady, because she's on it. She got me my referral that day. I got my appointment scheduled. So tomorrow I go for my physical therapy finally. So I had to call back and reschedule my the orthopedic doctor, because he wanted to see me this week, because I should have had 4 weeks of physical therapy by now. But I couldn't, because they kept canceling the appointment. But anyway, I feel like I have a new lease on life. And I thank God for it. I thank God for blessing me with the husband that I have. We are imperfect people, but we're perfect together. And he is just the right man for me. You hear me? Because through all of this, I knew that he would be there, and he was there for me. So I thank God for him. So anyway, fam, thank y'all for listening to me. And after all of that, I was like, Donald deserves more than apple pie in a jar. He deserves a vacation. We need a vacation after this. So thank you for listening. Let me go ahead and see what Don Juan is doing and see what Trey is doing. And I'm going to call y'all right back. All right, fam.
This is all things Greggy. Come take a ride. Living our truth with nothing to hide.